Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kahaloyim Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who were well. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds preaching truth and sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. Shalom to the sister Akwaf, listen in silence. Shalom, this your brother Ram Yahweh with the lesson. And yeah.
Store. But the end is in sight. And when that end comes, you better watch out for what happens next. We saw this coming. Complaints and actions meant to reduce police presence across the USA have led to an increase in crime and a surging call among the affected populations to increase militarization of the police to deal with increased crime and violence. This is dangerous ground to stand on. Most criminals act because they believe they have a chance to get away with it. Like it or not, the threat of retribution through incarceration is a deterrent for the majority that have not already been institutionalized. So without a police presence in your city, in your town, you have new breeds of criminals that will take advantage of those changes. But the opposing view is one that will be felt on the necks of Americans, as an over-militarization of the police and a separation between their actions and the justice that actually takes place in the system will lead to corruption and issues that plague the country. Look, they already do. According to recent reports, 1 year after the, quote, defund the police became a rallying cry at protests across the country to handle corruption through force, Democratic candidates and others from Atlanta to Minneapolis are removing plans to defund the police because of rising and uncontrollable crime. What is worse, asks one opponent of a massive police presence, having authorities stepping into everyone's life or having every person arm up and act on their own to stop crime? You know my thoughts there. I live in an open carry state. A deterrent is a deterrent. People see that there's going to be a recourse, some sort of problem for their actions. And so they behave better. They keep themselves in some form of line until they either lose their mind or they feel like they can get away with it. Don't let anyone think they can get away with something from you and your family. Don't give them the opportunity. Don't give criminals the opportunity to take from you. Let them know that you're home, your lights are on, you protect yourself. Get a dog, do something that shows them that you're ready. Criminals will always take the easy target. They'll always knock over somebody's grandmother rather than going against the guy who just got home from the gym. It's an easy target for them.
Bring that vaccine card with you if you think you're going to get a drink tonight or you're heading to a football game this weekend. LA County's new public health order, it went into effect overnight.
Eyewitness News reporter John Gregory live this morning with all the details. John.
And Mark, a lot of mandates, of course, in effect, but this one requires you to have proof of a vaccination. It's across LA County. And take a look at some of the places where you're going to need to show that proof now. We're talking bars and lounges and nightclubs, but also big venues, outdoor venues with 10,000 or more people. You're going to need to show proof of a vaccination there as well. If you can't prove you're vaccinated, you'll have to have a negative COVID test or proof of that. And a lot of people think it's a good idea.
I think it's also always a difficult thing when a government has to sacrifice individual freedoms for public safety, but in this case I kind of trust the science, so I think in this specific instance it's a good thing.
It's pretty crazy, it really is, because now that's going to be a little more work for us, asking and for them to like show it to us and everything, so yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So a lot of people in favor of this latest mandate, others not so sure, especially people who may be forced to enforce the new rules, people who work at bars and lounges and places like that.
What also adds to the frustration is the inconsistency between these different ordinances within the same county. We have a county ordinance and you have a city ordinance and they're not cohesive.
Yeah, and the city ordinance comes out in a couple weeks, and it does differ in one big way. The city ordinance will also cover restaurants, so you can add that to the list too. The bottom line, if you're in LA County and you're vaccinated, you probably want to carry some proof of it around with you. It'll make life a lot easier.
Satan.
Response, or the vaccine mandate. Now let's slow down a second here, because remember that 22%, also remember the 20% from the early retirements. Those two numbers alone, that's 417 individuals. Add the 238, now we're up to 655 people that are already putting in motion plans to leave the department, or they're already gone from the department. That's significant. Okay, let's go. Now, register. Fulgent is a system that the county is using to register and track who's complied with the vaccine mandate or not. And you can see the number totally registered, 79.5, and you can see between sworn and professional staff what the numbers are roughly. So we got 75.2% for sworn, 87% for the professional staff, so a total of 79.5. Now let's go on to what it boils down to, actually the vaccine mandate itself. People are vaccinated. For the whole department, we're sitting at 51.7 as of this morning. And you see there's quite a difference between our professional staff at 67.2 and our sworn staff at 42.8. That's quite a difference between the two. And a lot of this is driven by people just don't have faith in the vaccine. Some of it is driven by a political ideology. Some of it might be irrational. People have a legitimate reason why they don't trust the vaccine. And in a department, in this profession, which tends to be dominated by people that have more conservative leaning, this is what you expect. In very similar numbers you're seeing in our fire departments throughout the nation. And also in police departments as well. Okay, go on to the next. So subject to determination, these are people who are not vaccinated, are registered in the Fulgent system. That's the grand number right there, 4,185. If you look at the sworn number, 3,137, that has the size of almost our entire patrol operation right there. Similar, it's almost the size of our entire custody division operation. So imagine what would happen if every one of these was forced or was terminated. What would the department look like? All right, go on. So we compared with other counties, what's going on with other counties that surround us. Turns out every single one has a no. Orange County, we put an asterisk because their patrol is no vaccine mandate. Their custody operation, which has a medical component, it has a vaccine mandate. Our department, we have a vaccine mandate for those who work in our custody, our correctional treatment center in a medical.
Yeah. So this is like one of those scenes in Back to the Future, and he went into the future, and that town that they were from was a real nice town. I don't remember the name of the town, but it was like a real nice part of town. But in the future, it becomes ghetto, really hardly know any police. And so he's running back to his old neighborhood, and he sees this, which, his old neighborhood, he would have never seen this, right? And this is what your future is going to be. So they show you these things in these movies. Yeah, and then this right here is the part where he's trying to see what year he's in by grabbing the newspaper, and he finds out he's in 1985, but it's not the 1985 he knew. Like, you're going to be in America, but it's not going to be the America you knew, right? And here it is. This was his old teacher, Mr. Strickland, and he's going to bed. He got his night clothes on, but he got a bulletproof vest with a shotgun to go to bed. So this is how bad things are going to get. It's going to be hard for you to even get a good night's sleep, right? These are the things that's coming. A lawless. Because if you watch the movie, there were police, but it wasn't enough, right? It's not enough police. The police went one way. It's going to be a shooting, and there's no police going to show up after the shooting, and that's the thing that's going to go on. It's going to be so many shootings, so many murders, and not enough police to take care of it. This is Isaiah chapter 19, the burden of Egypt, right? Which is talking about America, which is spiritual Egypt. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, which is talking about what the world English calls UAPs, right? Unidentified aerial phenomenon, right? Or UFOs, and shall come to Egypt, which is America, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, which you have plenty of idols of Egypt. Matter of fact, you have one of the ovalips from Egypt itself in Central Park. It's in Central Park. One of the ovalips, they have one in Washington too, right? Which is Egypt. But they had shipped one over here from Egypt in itself to be here, right? So America is Egypt spiritually, right? Yeah, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart, which is the mind, mind of Egypt, shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, you Americans against you Americans. Whether you're so-called black, Hispanic, Latino, so-called Caucasian, so-called Asian American, you're gonna be at each other's throat. Why? For the lack of food, for the lack of shelter, for the lack of police, right? That lack of police presence, right? Them showing you those movies like The Purge, right? Those were real events that were gonna happen, right? They were showing you your future, like Back to the Future. Like I was just kind of showing you a little bit. You know what I mean? I didn't want to show the actual movie. I wanted to show the clip, but I was thinking because it's a movie, they might try to, say something about that. So, but hopefully you get the idea, because that was a real super good neighborhood. One of them, Mayfield neighborhoods, Barney Fife neighborhoods. Just nice, Barney Fife, it's so nice. He always only had one bullet in his gun. He's never had to use his gun. It's a nice neighborhood to a freaking war zone. And that's what's happening. That's what's going to happen to America. You're in really, really nice neighborhoods are going to be turned. The whole world is a ghetto. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a ghetto everywhere. Because you Egyptians, the Lord's gonna set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, right? Your so-called fellow American, whether black, Latino, American, whatever you are. They bringing in these Haitians from everywhere. They're gonna be fighting these people from Guadalajara, whatever they coming from Mexico, whatever, coming up here. They're gonna be fighting, right? and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That means your nationality, whatever city you're from, and then your nationality against the other person's nationality, right? Then of course we got the spirit that wars against the flesh. I mean, it's going to be all out war, right? And the spirit, right, to let you know that it's the spirit of Egypt, which is America, the spirit of Egypt shall fail. Because what's on America? The spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the council, which is already being destroyed by these so-called mandates and the way they're picking this against this, picking this, and it's dividing the nation, and a kingdom that's divided against itself. What a house divided against itself cannot stand, and that's what's going. And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall speak to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits, right? You know, your so-called TD Jakes and, you know, these people that pray to Satan, you know, and to the wizards, right? Because that's ultimately how they deceived you to make you think you could make America great again. That nope, let's put him out. No more Trump. Let's put Biden in. And things are gonna get better because this is nope. No, through these witches, these charmers, they charmed you, and you thought things were gonna get good. But guess what? Hey, the Egyptians will I give over unto the hands of a cruel lord, and a fierce king as ruler shall rule over them, saith the Lord, you know, out of one, Yahweh of hosts, which means armies, right? And, well, Yahweh Shai is going to be cruel to you, but ultimately at the end, the Lord is sending these ICBM missiles. Right? Yeah, because that proves it. And the water shall fail, and the seas and the rivers shall be waste and dried up through the ICBM missiles. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 11, and I will punish the world. Right? See? Now you now, do God love the whole world? Matter of fact, have God punished the whole world yet? This is a future prophecy. Have God punished the whole world yet? I mean, for you so-called make-believe Christians who say you are Christian but don't believe in the Old Testament, right? You have to believe in the volume of the book from beginning to the end, and that includes the Apocrypha, right? But the Lord has not punished the whole world. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogance, right? The arrogance of the proud to cease. And a lot of you people are proud. No matter how we teach this, no matter how we tell you the truth, you're arrogant, you're proud, you're thinking it can never happen. But here we are. They're saying you want to defund the police? Okay. And they're going to bring in the military. They're going to defund the police, and there's going to be not enough police, and they'll bring in the military. And the military don't have a thing. The military only, they're judged. Have you ever seen that movie Judge Dredd? That's the military. Judge, jury, and everything right there. That's them bringing in the military. Right? But then there's not going to be not a lot of cops. So you're going to be, you know what I mean? You're going to be like the, you know, like it's going to be like Back to the Future, you know? he went and, hey, the America or the town that he knew wasn't the town he knew anymore. You're going to have to, you're going to defend yourself. Right? Yeah. The Lord, I will cause the pride, the arrogancy and the pride to cease. I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. That's dealing with the elect. Even a man than the gold wedge of Ophir. Therefore, dealing with the elect, because the Lord said his men shall eat. So that's going to be more precious than gold, because you could use gold to trade or do whatever. But the thing about this, when you're more precious than gold, hey, the Most High got you. Therefore, I will shake the heavens and the earth, and shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahweh, which is talking about the ICBM missiles of hosts. And that's part of the Lord's hosts, his armies, is the ICBM missiles. In the day of his furious anger, and it shall be as the chase roe, right? As a sheep that no man taketh up. So there's not going to be no protection, because you know America has these their defense system, but it's going to be so many missiles that after a while even their defense system is not going to work. Like maybe the first couple of hundred, maybe the first 1,000, maybe even the first million missiles it may, but there's going to be 200 million. Like it's going to be so many missiles. The defense system is not going to hold up. Right? So it should be like chase roe, as a sheep, no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people. Right? When the race wars happen, when the Egyptians is going against the Egyptian, every man, you're going to turn to your own race for protection. Right? Turn to every man to his own people, and flee every one to his own land. Right? So I'm going to go back home, but the ones that's hit you, you're going to have to link up with your people, or with someone who you can get along with, or however it goes, where you can get some type of protection. Everyone that is found, right, whether you're black, white, whatever, when the Lord set up the Egyptian against the Egyptian, everyone that is found shall be thrust through. Right? People are just going to be killing each other, eating each other, taking each other's goods, food, taking their women. Right? As a matter of fact, it's going to get into that. Every man is found shall be thrust through, and every man that is joined unto them, right? Whatever group that you're joined unto, especially the Edomites, shall fall by the sword, right? You're joining the military, you're joining the Edomites, you're down for their cause, you're going to be thrust through and you shall fall by the sword. It's going to happen. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, their houses spoiled, which means, like I told you, they're going to come and take your food, whatever you got. With the economy going down the drain, no police, you finna get your food taken. And their wives ravished, right? Which means taken, grabbed up, taken somewhere else. And, you know what I mean? And what they call rape now, right? They're going to force themselves on your wives, right? These are the things that is coming, right? Yeah, so this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 8. I will hold my tongue no more, right? That's what the Lord is basically prophecy. Well, it's going out every day now, right? Prophecy is happening in a, what they call it, exponential rate. It's actually happening very fast on a daily basis, and you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are not recognizing that, but that's okay. The prophets are, and they're putting it out there, and then you're not recognizing the prophet. That's okay. Guess what? I will hold my tongues no more as touching their wickedness. So the Lord is tired of you being wicked, and look, we've been trying to get you to repent. The Lord said, now that we are out there, there's no cloak for your sin, for your ignorance. There's no cloak, right? Which they profanely commit. So profane means to be what? Outside the temple. But profanely is it's like you're sinning, but you just keep on doing it. Like it's willful sin, basically. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent blood, right? Because you Israelites killed the prophets. Dealing with the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, you killed the prophets. That was innocent blood. But also what? The self-proclaimed so-called white men have killed the prophets and have killed the Israelites and have spilled innocent blood. And where we're at in America, which is also, it's Babylon the Great, but it's also what? Spiritually Egypt. And the innocent blood, the innocent and righteous blood, Salakia, crieth unto me, right? They're in the spirit world and they're crying to the Lord, right? Absent from the body is present with the Lord. And the souls, right? Because their soul is in with the Lord of the just complain continually, right? So that's what the Lord said, look, now it's time. And therefore, saith Yahweh, I will surely, not possibly, surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood. So the recompense of it. Innocent blood from among them, right? Because you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, you kill the prophets, you ignore the prophets, and then you're gonna set the prophets up again and kill them again. Even in these latter days that we're telling you that this devil is lying to you about the Yob, right? No Yob, no job. And we're telling you this. No job, no shopping. And we're telling you this, and you don't want to listen. Okay. But you want to kill us still. So here we go. The Lord, I would say all, what was that? And receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them, right? Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter, right? Because you believe in so-called science falsely so-called, right? Science means to know, and since they spoke about this whole thing when it came out 2020, when they said they didn't know, we don't know this and we don't know that, and they don't. Science means to know. They don't know what's going on. Right? But you believe in foolishness. So yeah. So you're going to be led to my people, which you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, is led as a flock to the slaughter, and I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of what? Egypt, which is America. Spiritual Egypt is America. But I will bring them I will bring them with a mighty hand, which is talking about the elect, and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with the plague, right? And that plague is ultimately going to be the ICBM missiles, but it's also what? Stock market crashing, lack of food, lack of sleep. You're going to realize how much a blessing, which, hey, the Lord already put me through that before. Being able to sleep is a blessing, right? As before, I was, right? There's going to be so much darkness like I was in Egypt. They said there was so much darkness in Egypt, you could touch it. You could almost touch the darkness. And I will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten, right, with a plague, which is talking about the ICBM missiles that's going to come to America, and the punishments that Yahweh shall bring upon it, and that they that till the ground, right? Because before all that happened, because while you're going into your neighbor's house for bread, to spoil them, to get the money, get their food, get whatever resource they got, water, whatever it is, they that till the ground, right? Because they're already telling farmers to cut their fields and destroy their fields and don't plant any more crops, destroy it. They that till the ground shall mourn, and they're mourning now, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with the fearful constellation, right? And that constellation is what? Man, the ICBM missiles. Ultimately, ICBM missiles from Russia, China, and all these other places is going to come to America. Hey, and there's going to be no more America. So, yeah, this is the second Ezra chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me. Woe means destruction. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? This is Ezra, which is a prophet, which is a man of the Lord, which is most likely part of the elect. But when he seen this vision, it was like, oh, but even the scriptures say that even the elect shall scarcely be saved. So what manner of person are you ought to be in these last days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, right? Misery, that's basically saying miseries. Mournings, which means miseries. The beginning of famines, right? Lack of food. And great death, mass death. So many deaths, they're not even going to get put in the graves. The beginning of wars, right? The Egyptian against the Egyptian, right? City against city, kingdom against kingdom, your hood against my hood, your race against my race, the rich against the poor, the vaccinated against the unvaccinated, or the juiced against the unjuiced, or however you want to call it. Some people say vaccinated, unvaccinated. Some say the juice, unjuiced. Some, some say the what else they call it? The magic potion against the people who don't have the magic potion, or however you want to call it, right? It's gonna get pushed. You're gonna go to war. You get wars, and powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, and evil just mean a bad time, right? Evils mean a bad time. What shall I do when these evils, like these bad times, shall come? What should you, and that's really ultimately what you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians should be asking. But no, you're in fa la 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 land, and everything's fine, and you just want to ignore it, and you just don't. I just don't want to talk about. Yeah, I know. Like I talk about this. She gets frustrated. All you do is talk about this. I just. What else is there to talk about? Yes, I know that this is gonna happen. I just don't want to. Hey, you want to live in? Okay, let's just party and BS and drink and act like nothing and don't prepare. Because ultimately, you need to be spiritually prepared. But you could stack some food away, a couple guns, some bullets, some lighters, some candles, something. Do something, right? But just sitting on your ass ain't getting anything done. But for all these things, there shall not turn from their wickedness. Right? That's crazy. I didn't even know I was going to say that. Because I haven't read this in a while. But that's crazy. But that's the spirit. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, right? Nor be always mindful, right? But always constantly talking about it, thinking about it, mindful of the scourges. Like you're not mindful of, they just locked the whole globe down. You're not mindful that Esau gave the natives the blankets that had the smallpox or whatever was in the blankets. You forgetting about the Tuskegee when they gave syphilis. You're forgetting about the Spanish flu. When you go into that, what was happening during the time of the Spanish flu? That's the time you need to be. That's something you need to be thinking. People go, oh, you know what? This happened before. This happened before. Yeah, back in the day when they had the Spanish flu and there was a pandemic before. Okay, but what was happening in that time when that happened? Yeah, it happened before, but what was happening? The elite today at that time who wasn't really the elite at that time, but They were making the moves to be the elites, or they must have been something because these other nations, they helped them and they got put in that land. Oh, right. I mean, so what happened? They were trying to get in the land in Israel. World War I, World War II, and the Third World comes quickly. Hey, that's what's happening right now, right? But that's for another time. I don't know why I wanted to, but yeah, behold, because this is one of the reasons why you're not really thinking like that. Behold, the victuals, right, which is like your food, your groceries, shall be so good, cheap, right? You know, pretty much they got these little 99-cent things. You can go to the store, you can buy these different things. You can go there with coupons, whatever, upon the earth, that they shall think. What are you doing? You think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils, a bad time, groweth. Hey, and it's growing right now on an exponential rate that you don't even know. And without a lot of police that's going to be quitting, it's going to be worse. Grow upon the earth sword, famine, and great confusion. Hey, call Loyum Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect. Shalom to the elect. Right? Hallelujah. You know what I mean? Shamar Patat, the elect. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yeah. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype. Oh yeah, Shabbat Shalom too. Yeah, to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel, right? And come back to the fold. Shalom. To the sister Aquaf listening in silence. And death to America. Shabbat Shalom.